Okay, some highlights from today at GreatStockPicks.com, our live trading chat room. We sent out a watch list on Sunday night. We try to do that like once a week. Best Buy, BBY, was on that list, and this is what it looked like. This is actually one that was on the list that we traded today. That's why I'm starting with it. You had earnings. It gapped up, sold off, but closed near its highs, and so that landed it on our long watch list. If I add today's candle, you can see that it was fairly strong today on an intraday basis. It took off right out of the gate. This right here is the opening 5-minute candle today. So it took off right out of the gate. Again, I wasn't willing to take a trade early on a Monday morning, so I didn't do anything with it. I didn't even buy it on this pullback. It started to get my attention right in this area because now you had a lower high it came close to challenging the early high of the day, pulled back, and then was strong again. So I just went ahead and I was comfortable calling it on a high of day break at this point. So my long idea was 1755 with a stop only 15 cents below at 1740. There's the trigger, little flag, and then it goes and ends up getting through 18. It ended up going to 1813. So 58-cent move in our favor on 15 cents risk. That was the only one I think from the list that I called today. A couple other charts I think are worth showing though. AKAM was strong out of the gate. I put it on the projector for everybody to see. You know what? Let me scroll this over. When it looked like this, and this is something I usually look for. You've got the 5-minute candle. Here's the 20. This red line is the 20. This blue line is the 8-period moving average. I call the area between the 8 and the 20 on a strong stock, okay? And Akamai was very strong this morning. I call that area right in here the buy zone, okay? It doesn't mean it's going to automatically turn there, but that's an area to maybe go to a lower time frame candle and look for a turn. Had it on the projector and showed everybody Akamai right in this area, said this might turn right around here. Now I didn't give a trigger and stop on it. A lot of times if I see something like that, I'll put it on the projector and show everybody and let them make a decision if I don't have a very clean trigger and stop. But anyway, this pullback was the low after the morning run. There was the low of the pullback, and you see it had a nice run there. MBI, I did not get a trade in this earlier in the day, but when it had this volume pop, I put it on watch, okay? And speaking of the buy zones, watch this come down now. This, once you get this volume pop, it lands on a chart, and so I want to watch it, see if I can't buy the first pullback. And when it starts coming down here, I got excited. I'm thinking if this touches the 520, 5-period moving average, 20-period, 5-minute candle, 20-period moving average, I'm going to nibble on it there. And I went ahead and took it right there at 12.11, called it in the room right there with a 20-cent stop, okay? Because of this strength, lower volume on the pullback, this is an area where it should turn. And I didn't mind risking 20 cents a share there. And that was the low. You see that red line there? You had a few little, attempts at coming back down. It just wouldn't sell anymore. And so from 12.11, this ended up making it to 12.90 on that 20 cents risk. It never even went down to 12. So, didn't even cost, we were never even a dime underwater. That was a nice little turn right there. I can't type. Yelp today started to get volume. We traded this one on Friday. It really hung on pretty well here. Okay, you had this nice move on Friday right here, and then you had just basically a nice real tight consolidation. And you can see the volume coming in right here. So that volume reminded me that Yelp existed, and I went ahead and called it over 23. Can't remember how it stopped 22.85, something like that. And so there's the trigger. And the beauty of this one, once it hit 23, within about 20 or 30 minutes, we were up to almost 23.40. Again, not a huge trade, but almost impossible to lose money on it, right? Because right after the trigger, it was straight up. I'm going to show you another setup that I like a lot, and I pointed out to the room. And this was during the lunchtime period. This was FAST. You guys hear me talk about shape change a lot. And you can see the shape here on FAST, and then all of a sudden you get that shape change. See that? Nice volume here. And I looked at the longer term chart, 60-minute candles, and even here you can see support. You can see it bounce nicely from this area on Friday. But before I finish talking about this, I'll show you what it looked like on 60s, and that it did have support here. So what I typed into the chat room was FAST, nice shape into price support, which means looking for a nice reversal here, okay? And it looked like this exactly. Look what happens. That was the low of the day, and again, didn't give a trigger and stop, but I love the setup, and so that's why I'm using this video to at least show you the setup. You had the shape change into price support, and you know, if you took this even over this 5-minute candle here at 50.94, the stop below this 5-minute candle at 50.87, you're talking less than a dime risk, and it went up almost $1. But anyway, here is the shape, and let me go to 60s now. Remember, it was right below 52. Go to 60s, and this is what it looked like. And you can see the nice support here, right in this area, right? You had this consolidation right in here. You had a nice bounce here. You had a nice bounce here. So this was an area that was pretty darn interesting, right? And a beautiful, beautiful rebound from that area. Again, on 5s, it looks even prettier shape, and then that was the low of the day. That might be the highlights from the day. Let's see, I talked about Akamai, Best Buy. Oh, Diamond Foods was in my video last night too. And in the pre-market, I mentioned Diamond Foods to everybody, said I like it. And actually in the video last night, I said I like Diamond Foods over 16. I wasn't looking to take a trade early, though, again, in the first 5 minutes. But if you took it over 16, you got a nice move to 16.50 on Diamond Foods. And this was also our SMS call around 16.30 on this pullback, and it did nothing. It ended up going to 16, almost back to 16.50, and closing right where I called it for the SMS member. So not a big deal there, but I did have a member that took it over 16 6 minutes in, and said they paid for their membership that they just bought yesterday in one trade. So congrats on that. And I think that's it, guys. CWH I ended up making a little money on. And looking at my notes, that's it. All right, I'm done babbling. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow.